Okay, so what I did here, this is a stock Barnett recruit arrow with a 100 grain point. See what that weighs. So that weighs 404 grains, plastic fetching, not lighted knock, 100 grain point. Okay, 18-inch arrow. It's probably like a 22-15 or 22-14 if they even make an arrow like that. And I stripped the plastic fletching off of it, put feathers on it, lighted knock, same length arrow, and went with a 150 grain point. So, and that's 422. So 4-inch fletching, feathers, lighted knock, which weighs about 20 more grains than a plastic knock, regular knock. Like a 22-15, whatever that is, 20-13 or something. Shaft, 422 grains, 150 grain point. And I'm getting 236 out of that. So just the factory arrows. And I just modified them to fit my situation. So this is shooting the recruit stock with the Blackcat 165 pound bow. Let's see what it chronographs at. About 422 grains, I think is what it said. 236. So we're approaching that 240, magical 240. 4 feet per second. I can live with that if this is the system I want to shoot with. I don't like that light of an arrow, but if it flies good and accurate, it's got a broadhead with integrity, and I want 240 feet per second, that's probably as good as I'm going to get out of this without going with super light. So I'm going to experiment with that. So this is a recruit arrow. It's aluminum. I'm guessing it's like a 22-15 or something like that. It's some weird measurement. And the reason I know that's because how the lighted knocks go in. When I put a 22-16 lighted knock in this, it just about falls out of it. I think it's a 22 diameter, but the wall thickness, I'm not sure about it. I don't think it's 16. It's like a 15 or a 14. But if you want a light arrow, to get a high FOC, you really need a light arrow shaft so you can go with a lesser point weight. Because if you shoot a really stiff arrow, heavy spine, you're going to have an extremely heavy point, maybe even 300 grains to get your FOC, and then your arrow system's going to weigh, 650, 675 grains, which is highly lethal, but it really slows the arrow down, and you're going to have, it's going to take the arrow outside the kill zone, so on the deer moving at the sound of the bow. So I'm going to experiment with this and see if this is something I want to go with. Okay, now I'm going to measure FOC. So this is a 150 grain point, the recruit 18-inch shaft, probably like a 22-15, fletching with, of course, feathers and a lighted knock. So let's measure the FOC of this. I don't really care what it is as long as I've got good arrow flight. All right, there's that. So there's where the midpoint is. This is an 18-inch arrow, so 9 inches. So 9 inches is the midpoint. Measure the difference here. That is 2.75 inches. So 2.75 divided by 18-inch arrow, 15% FOC. So there you go. 422 grains. So I want to shoot the field point and the broadhead and see where they hit. Okay, so here's my approaching 240. And then I want to shoot the field point versus the same weight broadhead. This is an Ozcut knockoff Chinese. It's got good steel. I looked at the ratings on it, and these broadheads are about $2 a piece. So you got tanto tip, monolithic, great flight, and thickness. I think they're about a 0.05 maybe thickness. All right, 422 grains at 150 grain point at 230, what I say, 234, 236 feet per second, something like that. So I'm approaching my 240, and we're going to compare that to the broadhead. 20 yards. Okay, 2 inches left of bullseye. Now let's try the broadhead. Get the target on the right. It hit almost exactly left and right, and it's maybe an inch low. So it's hitting within 1 inch of that other arrow. Acceptable. Heck yeah, all day long. I think I'm on to something. So 15% FOC, 422 grains, monolithic, stainless steel, 2-blade broadhead, tanto tip, broadhead with integrity, approaching 240 feet per second for 20-yard shots. There you go. Okay, so I'm trying to use, I'm using 3 different arrows here, all the same weight points, and I'm going to be shooting at 20, 25, and 30 yards. My dead on point of aim is going to be 20 yards, and then I'm going to see the arrow drop at 25 and 30 and see what happens. Here we go. All right, starting out at 20 yards. Okay, 422 grains, 25 yards. Aiming for 20. See how much arrow drop I got. All right, 30 yards. Aiming for 20. See an arrow drop. Okay, it's not sighted in for this. It's shooting a little bit left, but not bad. But we're looking for elevation. All right, 20 yards. $25 yards. Aiming for 20. See how much arrow drop I got. Okay, now we'll go back to 30. All right, 30 yards. Aiming for 20. Seeing the arrow drop. All right, let's go measure it. So there's the difference between 20, 25, and 30 yards. It looks like about a 5-inch arrow drop. 236 feet per second, 422 grain arrow, 15% FOC. So what I'm trying to figure out is if I can aim at a certain spot on the deer out to 30 yards, and the arrow drop will take care of the deer drop if it drops at the sound of the bow or crossbow. So let's measure this. Okay. So the top arrow, between the top and the bottom arrow, is 4.5 inches. So it's this arrow. So it drops about 2.5 at 25 and 4.5 at 30. So aim 3 inches low at 20 yards, and if the deer drops, it'll take care of it. And if the deer doesn't drop, they're still dead, because you'll be at the bottom of the lung heart zone. There you go.